Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Welcome back here to the Bandit Racing League. Season 15 kicking off tonight here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Can't wait to see you guys joining up out there in the chat. It has been quite the time away here, and we are finally opening it back up. Now, I see David Lakey, our first one to join us out there in the chat. Glad to see him joining us as well. Big, huge shout out to the Bandit Racing League. I know you guys are kind of down. Everybody kind of frowning out there. A good bit of everybody sighing a good bit. And you feel the emotions really kind of let down with the league closing up. Everybody kind of stepping away for a moment, but it did come back around. And you can thank Kevin Foster and a few of these other guys out here that are really picking it back up. Bill Harkins is going to be sitting back, kind of doing some administrative procedures for these guys, but the big man on campus is going to be that number 8. So thank you, Kevin Foster, for going ahead and bringing the Bandit Racing League back, who always brings great driving out here and a lot of camaraderie between the drivers. And also, I don't want to forget, is rehiring us back on board here for the season 15 run. We are going to be out here tonight on, oddly, you wouldn't believe it, late model cars. We're going to be hanging out there as they get into the pits. I believe currently right now, there's the number 8, and we're kind of waiting on him. Super excited to see what these guys have to allow here tonight. They are going to be allowing for a ton of racing, a lot of door-to-door action, and it's going to be very, very tough to pass. Now, once we see how some of this works out, where we're going to be seeing Dalton Kilrow up there in the race control, same as last season, which I'm super glad to see him returning. He's going to have his hands full. We're going to be smashing these guys into mile tracks or less or smaller, and then trying to smash as many drivers on here as we can. Right now, I am clocking 25 drivers here for the kickoff of season 15, and I am pumped up right now. I don't know about you guys, but the guy I want to talk to out here is Kevin Foster, and right now this guy, I'm sure, has got a lot of pressure on him here tonight. Kevin, you got a copy on me out there?
I got you. All
right, well, the Season 15 kicks off. Bandit is back in business. Talk to me a little bit about what made you get this going, get going again, man.
Well, then off season, we stuck together, and big shout out to David for, keeping us all together. And, we ran a little series out there, and we're like, man, it'd be really nice if we get back to the roots of how we started on this racing event, and what most people go on a Friday night, Saturday night to their local short tracks, and so that's why we chose the late model cars here, to get back to the roots, get back to the little smaller tracks, and man, it's a blast, and I'm just thankful for you guys broadcasting, coming on board. Big support to Bill, my family. We got 26 cars here tonight. More than I ever expected, and man, I'm just thankful from the bottom of my heart that everyone to show up and show the appreciation, and to be a part of season 15.
Yeah, honestly, everybody returning. I've got to admit, when you sit back, and I was thinking, okay, you guys have taken a little bit of a hiatus, everybody hanging back a little bit. I personally didn't think, and 9 times out of 10, when you guys look at other leagues, return rate is very low. You got to do a lot of recruitment out there. You got to find other drivers. We got to find tracks. We got to find people like this. I think we got about 95% of the guys back. I mean, I've even got drivers like John Osborne has returned, and the big name Jonathan Platt, is going to be racing full time this season in the 43.
Yes, Jonathan Platt. That was a huge surprise when he said he's gonna be racing full time. He grew up. He does this stuff. He loves the short track racing. He loves his late model cars. He's gonna be a force to reckon with this season. But it's just what Bill built through the first 14 seasons. Just the camaraderie and all the guys, and we're like we love and hate each other on the racetrack, but at the end of the day, we're there for each other, and man, it's amazing. I'm glad to see everyone out tonight.
Yeah, and it's super exciting. I tuned into your guys' race last night. Not as messy as I would think. I've been in late model leagues, and I've got to admit, yeah, there's going to be some door-to-door banging. There's no doubt about it. Big engine, small tires, small track, and there's not a whole lot of room. What is the key for some of these drivers out here that they're huddling up at the drivers' meeting that they need to take into consideration here tonight when getting out there on the racetrack with other drivers?
Well, first, a couple laps, get some heat in the tires, main thing. But, just, easy on the brakes, let the car roll the center. That's where you're going to gain, as far as speed goes. Be aware of your surroundings because, yeah, we're in a tight little, quarter mile here. And, we got 26 cars here. There's going to be some beating. There's going to be some bangers. Might be some tempers flaring. But it's just, be conservative. Everyone out there, we got 150 laps tonight. We got the competition break at lap 70. And we're going to pull in the pits just like they do. Take a few minute break, and then we got 80 more laps on the backside to go after and get the victory.
Oh, yeah, and talk about taking kind of working patiently and getting up to the front. You guys have reinvited the number 51 out there of Curtis Yancey. There is no such thing as patience with this guy, and I'm excited to see what he can do, especially after his win last night. All right, Kevin, anything left you want to go ahead and tell our viewers out here before I go ahead and get you back down there with your team?
No, all the viewers out there, thank you guys for men and women, family, for just supporting all of us and tuning in here on a Wednesday night, and hope you enjoy the show.
All right, brother, let her rip. Good luck to you, Kevin. All right, everybody, Kevin Foster out there in the number 8 as we put him back in the race car. And before he gets going, now, oddly enough, I've even got drivers out here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm going to be super excited here tonight. We've got a ton of stuff going on. I even have an RC that used to actually be in the race control booth. I've got Nicole Crazel out here in the number 6. Talk about how exciting that is. Going to be seeing her out here in the Lady Chaos racing machine. That should be fantastic. Oddly enough, I don't have out there my Sour Patch Kid, but the 31 machine will be out there putting around. Look to see John Osborne. I said he's been out there as they are going ahead and wrapping up this drivers' meeting. Now, he talked a little bit about kind of how our race is going to go here tonight, and I do want to take a quick little poke at what we are going to be running and how these guys are going to be faring. Let's take a look at the race here and see if we can get that to populate up here on our screen and get it going. And right now, we've got a little bit of a hiccup here, but no fear. We'll be able to go ahead and squash it here in just a moment. Right now, I've got to say, the one thing that these guys do want to keep in mind out there big time is seeing how, really 100% how all this is going to come about here. I would be slightly nervous seeing what exactly we're going to be in store here for tonight. So race number 1 here of season 15, we're going to be here at Hickory Motor Speedway with 150 laps, 100% fuel limit for these guys, but they'll only have one set of tires. Yes. Well, 150 laps. You might be thinking, this is kind of a little bit like Bristol. We got to watch out. These guys are going to be burning these tires up. Welcome to short track racing in the late models. They do have to be very, very careful out there on these tires and out there in this car. So it's going to be very tough. This being a modified setup league, what that means is this is actually a fixed setup, but what they've done is the admins have actually done a little bit to help these guys sustain a little more stability out there on the track. They're going to be able to, the turning's going to be a lot smoother, the tire wear is going to be a lot easier, and the gearing should work out. We will hear some of these cars slapping off that rev limiter a little bit, so they're going to be super careful what they're going to be doing here tonight. But fortunately, they will have one fast repair, and I guarantee you a lot of guys are going to be using it tonight. I'll be your lead producer and commentator here for tonight. I've mentioned Dalton Kilroe, but there's no sense in not talking about that guy again. He's got his hands full up there as our race control and race director here tonight. 78 degrees on this beautiful night here with a little bit of wind. Shouldn't be too much to sweat out there. I think we'll be A-okay. As right now, we have got our eyeballs out there on the 94 of Ethan Sikorsky. Big time right now, Ethan Sikorsky barely missing the season championship there last season. I would love to see that 94 have another opportunity to dig in and get another bite here of this league. This league has a lot to offer out here, and I think these guys are going to be looking to see if they have exactly what they can produce and kind of put their money where their mouth is, so to speak. All right. Looks like we are finishing up the warm-up out here. Drivers going to be getting ready to get down there on the track. I'm excited. I'm hoping you guys are excited. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Mailbox Media out there saying your name is BCCom. Have no fear. Already fixed it, brother. We are not going to see that. It's going to have the Noxter out there. I can't wait to see where the OxyClean machine is going to line up here tonight as drivers going ahead and huddling in their team chats down there. I see Jackson Dock hanging out with Jason Greenwell, Eddie Haggy, and Carter Phillips. The ESR team out there with Connor Gibson, Curtis Yancey, Ethan Sikorsky, and Jonathan Platt. GFR team will consist of Kevin Foster, Nick Nickerson, Paul Wilson, and Ricky Hart. That's a tough team. And the J3 with Justin Zemecki, Logan Murray, and Nolan Gross. We'll wait and see if Hunter Musselwhite can get any of the rest of his drivers to show up here tonight. But as the pace car is out there on the field, we're going to go ahead and see what our starting grid here is, what these guys are lining up to give us here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look. Jonathan Platt will be sitting in that number 1 position, and to his outside will be Curtis Yancey. Nick Nickerson sits in 3rd, Sean Britt in the 4th spot. Wow, tough race there. Well, hopefully we're going to see these guys continue on and do a fantastic job really kicking these guys around. All right, let's move on through. As I've got currently, right now, it seems to be Connor Gibson in 5th, where Kevin Foster rounds out of road number 3. Ricky Hart sits 7th next to Brett Guzik. David Lakey 9th. Carter Phillips is 10th. Jackson Knock outside the top 10. And Paul Wilson sitting in 12th. Moving on here for Bob Berry out there in the Harley-Davidson machine. He'll be getting going here with Eddie Hagge, Ethan Sikorsky, Matt Crockett, Justin Zemecki, Nolan Gross, Bill Harkins, and Logan Murray rounding out our top 20. For the final stack of our field here, the number 18 of Victor Weaver and Jason Greenwell in the 83 make up I believe the 11th row. John Osborne 23rd, Nicole Krazel almost dead last, but that's going to be Hunter Musselwhite taking that spot under green. Here we go. Quick start there for Jonathan Platt. He holds on to the lead, though. Unfortunately, caution immediately out. Nasty start here to this race. I believe Kevin Foster looking to not be involved in it. I see the number 12 is sideways down there on the infield. They will sort this out. That number 12 being Bill Harkins down there. That would have kind of juked out Stella there. It did look like the pace car was going to hit him there. Very tough turning radius here for the number 12. I don't know if something is going over. And Josh Conover out there in the chat. Yep. Josh is joining us here. Looks like we've got a driver. Yeah, I think Bill's got something messed up with this. All right, guys, let's talk about some good things about this. Caution laps will not count. As a good thing, seeing these guys are going to be having to kind of mess it all up here and guys getting pushed around. There you go. Right now you see Bill Harkins having to quickly use that fast repair, and he has not completed lap number 1 yet as he heads into the pit box. I do see a black flag being divvied out to Logan Murray out there. You can't miss him in the all-green car. Looks like you're back to the old World War II fighters paint job there. See if Logan Murray ends up getting mixed up here. What do you say we take a quick little peek out there at what caused Logan Murray to get the black flag? Right off the start, there he is on the outside. Doesn't look like he scrubs the wall. Oh boy, he is not the first. Whoa. All right, let's try that again. Maybe we can see from the Bill Harkins area. Kind of see what gets him set up here. Actually, it's mixed up all the way up to Kevin Foster. So I guarantee you Kelly Queel out there not going to be happy about spinning around. I see that. Yeah, I see you out there, Josh Conover. Stella is not going to be joining us here for this early here in the season. So a little mix up there. So no fear, you will have me and me alone. Take a look at the stack up. Curtis Yancey looks like he misses a gear there, and then the number 5. So this actually starts from the number 5 car of Sean Britt. Sean Britt getting a little mixed up there as he gets hammered and beat around. Britt does remain in the 4th spot. Does not look like RC is going to boot him and send him to the back of the line for the number 5. Missing a gear there, so I guess everybody's got to be a little more heads up. Right now the number 8 out there is going to have to fix his car up. Kevin Foster starting in that 2nd, 3rd row is all the way back in 19th now. Hopefully he's going to be able to shuffle his way up to the front. He'll line up behind Nicole Krazel. Drivers already laps down here. I see Terry Condis is showing currently a lap down. Jason Greenwell, Bill Harkins, and Carter Phillips. That should be wiped, though, seeing that caution laps do not count. I was pretty excited here. We should be getting ready to show you guys some pretty awesome stuff here. New build here on the screen. Let's go ahead and let her rip. As everybody is stacking up top, shows Muscle White and Nicole Crazel right after we get across the line. We're going to shuffle them in and out. Caution back out here on the track. A little unsure what's going on. I'm showing a ton of black flags here. Carter Phillips being one, Bill Harkins is another, Logan Murray, and Nolan Gross. Gross ends up getting the black flag. And unfortunately, our Lady Chaos machine is around. I think she's having trouble getting that thing refired here. Some of the drivers do say these things run extremely well. Running in a pack, running in line, being able to run side by side. But once they are kind of slowed up here, you notice how Nicole's hitting the wall there to make the turn. It is almost impossible to turn this thing when the car is stopped. A little bit of smoke coming from the number 6 there. That does mean we've got a busted radiator. So she may have poked a hole here down into pit road. A little bit of tilt to that right front wheel as well. It will be cambered in, though, to help with the lack of banking out here on the track. But we can go ahead and take a peek and see what causes Nicole Crazel's rough night start. Looks like she's a little off track there. Yep, might have just looped in. Foster gets punt there. All right. Now it looks like somebody's playing bulldozer from behind. Gets smashed around. A couple of drivers trying to get through. Oh, boy. As you can see, the log jam here. So right now, Dalton Kilroe doing his best to go ahead and see if he can smooth this out. This is the number 6. Now, Cole Crazel ends up spinning her on around. And not without help. Not mistaken, I believe. The 32 machine, I believe that might have been Terry Condis getting into him. As it looks like he is out there running in the Matco machine. All right. So he's got the Hex Eagle on there. Terry Condis a little late on the brakes. He'll be trying to square that up just a hair. Nicole Crazel, quick, fast, and in a hurry. 52.5 seconds. She heads on out of pit road. All right, Surgery Steve asking how's Weaver doing. Well, he's having a little bit of trouble. He has moved up 3. The NOS machine is up to 18th. He is not pit so far, but he's kind of hinting at it here. I'm assuming he's not going to do any of that. Seeing we only have 1 set of tires. I think it might be suicide anybody taking tires here, even if you have flat spotted them. I would go ahead and keep that on. Pace car lights remain on. 43 of Jonathan Platt. As long as he's hitting these restarts, he should have this as almost a cakewalk here to the end. Now, last night, a little bumping and banging out there, but the man to beat was the 51 out there of Curtis Yancey. Now, I'm excited to see what he can put on a show here tonight. We just got to get some green flags, enough to where they can start pushing ahead. Right now, it seems to be pretty tough with a couple of cautions here. Curtis Yancey doing his best right now. Not having hopefully trying to get a little something going here. That's Curtis Yancey. See how that Bass Pro machine can get going here. Pace car lights are off. That means we should be good to go. Yep, race control says good. Green flag out. Here we go. Let's try this again. Oh, look like they yeah, somebody's out of line here. Yeah, we should be double stacked, but it looked like somebody messed up. trying to square off this field here. Sorry, guys. I don't know about you. I was pretty excited. I thought we were getting ready to rock and roll. Yeah. Now, some of these lap downs should not be. Lap downs should be wiped with the cautions not counting. So some will show laps down, some will not, some will be back out. And some of them are trying to kind of fix it here. It's like they're doing a runoff of a few laps. I'd like to bring down Dalton Kilroe, but I do want to make sure he has got full control of what's happening here. It seems as though a couple of these guys are jammed up on a single lap here. Right now, with cautions not counting, it's showing drivers like Connor Gibson are down a lap, so they're pushing him through. I don't know if Logan Murray's going to get the same treatment here. So hopefully we'll be able to get this going here pretty soon. Pace car is not out, but it looks like they are holding. Everybody's stacking. All right. Well, appreciate you guys joining us here at the Bandit Racing League. Not only are we going to be hanging out with Bandit here for Season 15, but keep an eye out there for the upcoming streams I will have posted as soon as the guy out there in the chat, J-Con Racing, is to finalize the schedule, and we're going to be kicking off with the National Oval Racing Association. I believe we're re-examining the Gen 4 cars, and we're going to be going back at it. 05 should be when the Nextel Cup took over. These guys are going to be dealing with a whole bunch of different rules out there. Pretty excited to see what all we can do in that league as well. That'll be on Monday nights. You'll be able to see drivers like Brady Moat. Brady Moat's out there. We're going to be seeing Vincent Arthur. We're going to be seeing drivers, hopefully, like Dustin Kleba is going to return. Right now, we're going to be hands down really stoked if those guys are able to return, especially from the KPR Racing team. We're going to see the return of Dalton Tucker out there, the season champion last season. Did a heck of a job. So we're all waiting on the admins over there to go ahead and kind of put nail to the coffin there and definitely firm that schedule on up. All right, checking out there on the laps. Everybody should be caught up here. Jackson Knock has had a full disconnect. That boy made it about 2 1/4 laps and then was not able to continue. Wonder if he had a full dropout here. And we have seen that all too often. See guys get out here and then it not stick. Right now, I don't blame Jackson Knock one bit if he had to get out of the race car. That boy's had a heck of a day. So hopefully we'll see these guys get going again. This is looking pretty solid here. I believe Terry Condis is now back onto the lead lap. Got to just catch up there. So if we can get something squared away, that should be Hunter Musselwhite there in that gray car in the back. He's representing Matco Tools as well. He's missing the number 16 off the side of his car. Should be all right. We'll go ahead and make sure, check in on Jonathan Osborne. See him out there in the number 81. I heard he is temporarily running the 81 here tonight. He guys will be able to buy shirts and things like that and any sort of sponsorship apparel for the number 11 that he will be running this upcoming season. All right. Hopefully we'll see this go. Grab Dalton Kilrow here for just a second. Dalton, tons of trying to get guys back on that lead lap here. Green flag this time by?
They are still trying to figure it out. Obviously, with the caution laps not counting, things are going a little haywire. This is not anticipated, so apologies about all of that. It looks like everybody's about in the right order, so I should be giving them the green flag in the next lap or so. I'm just going to confirm that real quick, and then we'll be good to go. We'll try it again.
Excellent. Dalton, appreciate you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, that is RC going ahead and nailing this down. Big hiccup here right at the beginning. I've got to say, one driver I haven't mentioned anything about is that 04. Right now, good to see Brett Guzik out there. He'll be running a heck of a race here tonight if we can get back under green. Paint job. So hopefully we'll get the 04 back in the Easy Go machine. I think that would move him to get going there. One driver everybody's really circling around here tonight is going to be that number 2 out there of Nick Nickerson. They were joking around a little bit last night, saying all he was a white blur that kept slinging by everybody. Great to see him with the Perfect Shine Auto Spa. He'll be running that car all season. Right. Ooh, I hear high RPMs. Are we back under green? Yes, we are. Snugging up around 75 miles an hour, now over 100 miles an hour, heading into turn 3. Kind of hold our breath here for just a moment. I'm a little nervous if we're going to be able to stay green. Everything looking good. 1482 by Curtis Yancey. He's on a roll. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are out of the weeds here. We are back on it. So right now, that is going to put us with Jonathan Platt out there in the lead. Curtis Yancey sitting second. And Nick Nickerson is third. Unchanged our top 3 here, but we've already got some shuffling up from Connor Gibson. He's able to move from 5th up to 4th. Ricky Hart gets from 7th to 5th. Not bad out there in the 28 machine. Kevin Foster resumes after a couple of cautions he was involved in here. He moves up to 6th. Sean Britt sits 7th. David Lakey is 8th. Brett Guzik 9th. And Bob Berry rounding out our top 10. Continue charging forward here. Everything looking solid. Looks like everybody finally calms down just a hair. Man on the move, though. I've got about 3 of them tied. Ethan Sikorsky, Justin Zemecki, Victor Weaver, and Bill Harkins have shifted up 4, but yellow flag returns again. I don't know about you guys. That is some pretty sweet stuff over top of that that grid there. So it looks like Nolan Gross is limping it into pit road. Looks like Josh Adams rooting on Victor Weaver. Weaver had been working his way up to the front. He sits now 18th. I don't know if John Osborne was able to snag a couple of positions. Let's take a look. Nolan Gross gets in any nasty business here. Oop, Carter Phillips into the back of the 15. Ouch. Osborne punts him. Condis almost nails the 15. All right, so Matt Crockett getting hammered up out there a little bit. All right, Surgery Steve out there saying Victor Weaver's got this thing. Just low and slow, he'll have it in the bag. He's just got to slowly work his way up to the front. So, pretty excited about what we got going on here. Tons of work. Drivers just trying their best to get farther and farther ahead. very, very tough. Very, very tough if they can get on through. See if they can fix it. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Matt Crockett actually, during the offseason, has brought a new child into the world. He holds currently 22nd. Like they said, caution laps do not count here. As our third caution has come out here for the night. Jason Greenwell, sitting now 19th. I think they're shuffling him around. He'll be out there in that Nerds machine. Let's see if we can get a little more here from the man, the myth, the legend. Glad to see Jason Greenwell out there. Drivers starting to stack up again here. Pace car is off. Jonathan Platt still has the lead here in this race. Let's get back underway. Lap number 23 is underway of the 150. This is about how practice went last night. Everybody got those nervous jitters out from under caution, and then we are back at it here. You see Bob Berry. He's kind of playing with the outside here of the top 10. Barry's holding now 12th, where David Lakey holds the last spot in our top 10. Everything pretty calm here in the front 5 or 6, but we definitely know how Simtrax Broadcasting handles it. We shuffle through the field. We show you a little bit of everybody. What do you say we go look back at Bob Berry? He's going to be working on the outside here of Justin Zemecki. Zemecki out there in the 03 car. He's on the inside, all black machine. They are working extremely hard. Let's see if we can take a peek. There's the 82 working to the inside. That is Paul Wilson. I remember Wilson got in a little bit of a scrap last season out there with Mark Allen Bivens, who is not here tonight. I'd say that's probably for the best. I think those guys have let that thing as water under a bridge now. No problem. We are definitely starting to stack up the green flag laps. Little bottoming out here from the car in front. Wilson's got a few sparks shooting out there, and Kevin Foster scrubs the wall about a lap or so ago. Yeah, once these guys can get under green, we should really be rolling here. 14-second laps is what we're pulling. Just a hair under 15. These guys should be really on a roll. Fortunately, everything looking good. Bob Berry sent around by Bill Harkins. Eddie Haggy squeezes through. No caution's going to come out for that. No one got around. Harkins going to be dealing with some damage there in the front. Remember that Harkins has already used that fast repair. Lap number 31 underway. Right now, Harkins has got to be careful, and now that he's going to be keeping an eye out there on that temperature gauge. Now also consider when we're running the temperature gauge, why I say that. Short track, we do not have a ton of air flowing through that front grille. They're either on the gas or off the gas. There's really no in between. Got to be super careful out there. Lap 33 underway. Looks like Bob Berry is no worse for the wear. He is unfortunately rolling backwards, though. I'm trying to see if any from our angle here, if he's got any damage to that rear bumper. Looked like everything seems pretty solid there, but the shovel nose did pick up the back end of the 75. Everybody A-OK there. Osborne has shifted up to 14th, and now gives him hard charge with 9 on the night. Excellent job here by Osborne. Looks like he's running that Air Jordan car. Currently, Jonathan Platt still holding tight to that number 1 position. Kevin Foster now holds 10th. As I said, David Lakey had it. Now Lakey's moved up to 8th. Great job here so far. Paul Wilson now sitting 11th. He's on a good roll here. Past couple of laps, this guy's been picking up the pace, oddly enough, as one of the slower cars out there. 15:01 is his last lap. Only got about 6 other drivers out of the rest of this field, and the 82 overheats the tires. Rough run here as the 82 out there from the GFR team. Already starting to beat and bang out there with the J3. Gross Motorsports. I always wonder if drivers like this, if this is going to start causing problems right at the beginning. Speaking of problems, right now we move back to Nicole Crazel. That currently is the number 6 machine, and you wouldn't believe, that's the leader right behind him. Didn't take very long. Currently, Nicole Crazel's running about 15.5 seconds per lap, and currently Jonathan Platt is running 15 seconds, so half a second gain per lap here. And it's going to be pretty tight. Here comes the 43. This will be the first car to go a lap down here. Nicole Crazel and Terry Condas. Both laps down now. Currently the 32 machine. He's heading back. Next on the list is going to be Carter Phillips out there in the number 30. Now Carter Phillips, he's been having a rough time. Notice how much of that tire you can see from that right front. And Carter, is he jamming up? Right now, Platt would love to get around. Yancey's seeing some opportunities here. Nickerson all over him. Around they go. Hunter Musselwhite into the wall. Absolutely destroyed here. Looks like there's a car wedged underneath of him. Carter Phillips is under his car. Carter Phillips not interested in putting it in reverse. Pushing that 16 car around. Hunter Musselwhite will have to sidestep the clutch here to get that thing turned around to avoid more damage. Oh, the 28. Ricky Hart. Yep, somebody's going to radio up about that. What is going on there? I don't know if you guys are seeing that. So, Bill Harkins just ricocheted off the wall and just caught Bob Berry. Oh my gosh. I don't see anybody down here in the infield car care center. Looks like everybody's still on the up and up, I suppose. Hunter Musselwhite during this yellow flag here. The 16 car gets kind of bumped around. Let's see if he gets loose. Yeah, he's way out of shape out there. Boy, and they synchronized spin off the wall. Yeah, I don't know if the 30 pushing him here is a little bit of frustration. Carter Phillips gets in some trouble here. All right, so here's the worst part of it. I would say those pieces here, but Ricky Hart, clink. So Ricky Hart goes around. Guy's trying to avoid another wreck that's happening under caution. And then Bill Harkins, something happens to his race car here. Yeah, look how there's sparks shooting off. Nothing's happening here. It looks like he ends up with some sort of lag. Yeah, and sends him straight into the tires. Like all of a sudden, Bill Harkins lost his steering. Looks like Bandit Racing League out there saying not his night. He lost sound in his headset. Boy. Yeah, so it may be opening night here of the league, but let me tell you, there's nobody having really a good night other than Jonathan Platt, who's going to be looking at that green flag again. Apparently this boy's led all laps here tonight. We are running up on some lap traffic already. Right now, a little bit of a late start here for Hunter Musselwhite as he gets out on the track. I believe we got drivers bumping and banging here in the back already. I see smoke from tire rub. Platt going to be looking to put that 16 car behind him, and he does. Hunter Musselwhite into the wall after his fast repair. Carter Phillips coming out. Carter Phillips fortunately not causing any trouble on the way out. He's looking to work his way out of there on the track. Caution back out. Boy, I hope that wasn't for him coming to a stop right there. Yeah, really not showing anybody spinning around out here. I would hope that is not the case. Sit here from Eddie Haggie's standpoint. Then calm, yellow flag's out. Alright, well, RC going to have his eyeballs out there on the 30. May see if they end up serving that boy a drive-through. He's already come down here on lap number 42. Fifth caution out here for the night. Pretty rough night. Getting ready to start double stacking here again. Boy, what a start there by Jonathan Platt. Lap number 47 underway. Nickerson almost slides into turn 1 and 2. Holds on to it though. Check out Brett Guzik. Guzik working hard here. To the outside is the 31. Look at that camber of that right front wheel. See if we can push it on around. Right now, as we are back under caution, we notice the damage here to Brett Guzik's front end. I see he's a little bit mashed up here. Dealing with some damage there on the left front. Not sure. I think shows Bill Harkins was able to return here. Yeah, for some reason it throws out the caution. He was off track, though. Bill Harkins was off track. But he was just trying to make sure the rest of the field got past him. So, I don't know about you guys. A little throwback there to iRacing in season 14. Pretty blind to some of the things they see. And it seems iRacing has turned it up a little bit. These guys are a little touchy. A little touchy. Just because he's riding in the infield grass a little bit should not bring out a caution. The same with the Carter Phillips caution. I say those are the ones that shouldn't have existed. But they did. So we're back under caution here. Tons of opportunity here for tonight for our drivers to kind of show up, put up or shut up out there. We'll hopefully be able to see some sort of opportunities here for some guys to make some adjustments. Looks like cars double stacked as they are scrambling here for another 20 laps or so before we really hit about our stage break out there. All right, here we go. Let's try again. 49 is underway. Jonathan Platt catches Yancey snoozing. Take a look at that inside line. Nickerson having trouble holding on to it, though. Now the 04, Brett Guzik trying to squeak on by. All right, looks like the top 19 cars still on the lead lap here. Cole Crazel, Terry Condis, Carter Phillips, Hunter Musselwhite, Bill Harkins, Ricky Hart, and Jackson Knox. There is an incident limit here in this league. Drivers will have to serve a drive-through penalty if they end up causing too much havoc out there on the track. And there's also a disqualification. Drivers will be sent home. If I am not mistaken, I've got 2 drivers that have met that incident limit. One being the 30 car of Carter Phillips and the 12 car of Bill Harkins. Ricky Hart has taken it on home. Lap number 43 was enough for him, so I think that spin out with the ricochet from Hunter Musselwhite was enough. So Ricky Hart has taken it on home, and Jackson Knock, once again, only made about 2 1/4 laps there, and he was going ahead and taking it back. Nolan Gross revisiting back down pit road again here. Now with 100% fuel limit, we should have plenty of fuel to make it to the end. Really surprised here if anything kind of changes up there. Pace car lights are still on. Hopefully we will be able to go ahead and kind of squeeze down on what exactly is happening out there on the track. We'll get maybe an opportunity here to talk to Bill Harkins. Bill, you got a copy on me here, buddy?
I got you.
All right, man. Tons of problems out here tonight, and not just cautions. I mean, Jackson Knox had some trouble. I believe that's you with the Bandit Racing League. You lost sound in your headset tonight. What in the world's going on?
I lost everything. I don't know what the heck's going on. So we thought we would try this with, caution laps not counting that really messed up people and stuff like that. I'm sure Dalton explained that to you. So I mean, it's a learning progress, I guess. This was supposed to be a lesson learned. 25 incident points, 24 incident points at DQ. We'll probably have to increase that. We were honestly thinking we were looking at probably 15 to 19 max, not expecting 26. So that's why we set the incident points low. So obviously we'll have to make some adjustments.
Yeah, well, it's always a learning curve. I would say this is a lot bigger field than we dealt with last night. You guys ran a practice race. Curtis Yancey seemed almost untouchable here. But I think if we got some green flag laps, we might be able to see these guys really stretch their legs out. We'll look at the tire conservation, see what they can do with a little bit of this body damage. Some of these guys have been beat up a little more than others. But I would say, if you're basing everything off what we saw last night, this is almost 180 what we expected.
It's completely opposite of what we expected. And I think what I'll maybe suggest to Dalton here shortly is at lap 16.
Currently showing 54, but with caution laps not counting.
Get that competition caution. I'll probably have them go single file restart to 1.9 because that's when this field seems to start getting recent.
Right.
Better, so we'll probably change that around at that point.
Yeah, well, I think we poked around with it a little bit. I know I talked to Dalton just a hair about it, and we were a little concerned if any accordions may happen. Got drivers smashing up into the turns. I wasn't sure. I think everybody's trying to dive bomb turn 1 and 2, 3 and 4 here, and it's just not sticking the way they expect. I mean, I've driven the late models here in real life and out on the sim. Big engine, small tires, little track. I mean, you gotta give a little bit for this thing to settle in, and then she'll really get going.
Well, you can see when things do get going, it's interesting racing. I mean, there's been some nice passes going on. It's just getting everybody out. We were going for a while. But David Lakey kept ERR out. Not all of us were together, so still have that time limit. We'll get it.
Yep. Yeah, Bill, I would even say with the cars designed the way they are, there's no more bumping. There's no oof. Looks like somebody else gets maimed there in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. I told him, guys, as the owner before, I was very politically correct. I told him in the meeting tonight that politically correct is gone. that now you're going to hear Bill the driver. You're going to hear a lot of words out of me.
Sweet.
And then I'd get DQ'd right away. So that was my moment. So I made myself look like an idiot there, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these guys out here. It almost seems impossible to turn when the cars stop. Yours, it sounded like something happened. It looked like you rode across the wall and then gave a quick kiss of the tires that caught Bob Berry in the back. I mean, just...
Well, no. What happened is my headset was going out. So, I've always been on wireless. We're going to put that out. And
Right.
I've done it for 6 years. Never, ever had a battery go down. Both my batteries went down on my earphones at the same time. And I was reaching over to my case to reset it, and I hit the tire. Kind of like my wall thing. Remember the wall thing a couple of years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like a road thing, So, yeah, unfortunate. And then when I came out, I knew they dropped the green, so I tried to stay down in the grass, and that brought that caution out. So,
yeah,
times.
super touchy on the cautions here tonight. I think Carter Phillips also brake checked a little bit to let the field go past him, and it was enough to throw out another caution. So some of these...
Absolutely.
Unwarranted, but the one we just saw, Logan Murray, getting kind of mangled in there, he needed that one right now. Unfortunately, that number 4 car currently sitting in 20th. It's black flag, down pit road he goes. So, boy, he's got his work cut out for him. All right, Bill, well, go ahead and give me a little bit of your shout-outs here, brother.
We'll get this better now. We'll get her better.
Ah, no fear. Hey, remember I said that little clause, buddy. I smelled trouble.
Right, well, you'll benefit.
All right, Bill.
All right, thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
All right, everybody, that is Bill Harkins, the man, the myth, the legend. He has unfortunately stepped down. He is not running the league per se 100%. It is going to be that number 8 car that is also getting beaten and banged around here tonight, currently sitting down in that 13th position. If you want to find him, go ahead. There he is out there, currently sitting 2.9 seconds off pace. Currently, look out, Curtis Yancey starting to triangulate these turns. The amount of cautions we're starting to collect here right now, this is looking pretty rough. Curtis Yancey has got to get in the lead and quickly. If he doesn't get in the lead here pretty soon, Jonathan Platt may be leading this from beginning to end. Platt has only had one folly out there, and that was just at the start. Curtis Yancey was able to get that nose past him. And he is out front. All right, lapped car out there. Looks like currently meeting up with him is Connor Gibson. Gibson down to the bottom. Next will be Brett Guzik. Guzik has been in trouble all night here. Notice that damage on the left front. Does not seem to be affecting him much here. Trouble continues. Sean Britt ricocheting off the lapped car. Going in, showing him he wants him out of the way. Caution is out. I believe they're throwing this for the lap number 60. All right. Guys, it is not as messy as you would think. Shovel nose on these cars, a little bumping out there can cause a ton of problems. So Platt, Yancey, Nickerson, Connor Gibson, Brett Guzik to round out our top 5. Following up with Sean Britt, Paul Wilson, Justin Zemecki sitting in 8th, David Lakey is 9th, and Eddie Haggy making it out there in the McAtee Consulting car, currently sitting in 10th. John Osborne finishes in 11th, Kevin Foster is 12th, and Victor Weaver is 13th. Currently, drivers remaining out here on the track. Not seeing many vehicles coming down into pit road. Nolan Gross is saying his internet has been dropping in and out. So yeah, welcome back to the Bandit Racing League. It has been nothing but bugs and problems and disconnects and lack of charging, and boy, I tell you what. So Jackson Knock, if you're tuned in, buddy, you are not the only one. Everybody's having issues out here on the track. Cars double stacking here. Taking a look to see if they can get these guys to run this out. Remember, when they do come down into pit road, they have the option of taking 4 tires. Jonathan Platt will be one of them. They will then resume back onto the track in their order that they came in after a 5-minute break, and that is including putting the tires on. Oh, first time around, Curtis Yancey. Yancey is around. You'll see the right way to do it here. Quick way to kind of dump the clutch there and get it spun around. Nickerson drops down to 11th. And this is the most action we've seen out of the top 5 here all night. Curtis Yancey, Nick Nickerson, Brett Guzik was even involved. Guzik now down to 14th. Rough race here tonight. Right now, I do want to keep an eye out there on Curtis Yancey and see what sent that boy on around. Curtis Yancey, I swore he was going to be our guy to beat here tonight. I'm wondering if Nickerson just got in there a little too hot. Oh. Okay. We'll finish this out here. So I would say the mass confusion here. When coming into the turn, Yancey checks up, heading on the way in. When he hits the brakes, Nickerson backs up the turn just a hair. Right there, it looks like the 51 accelerates. When Platt doesn't move, 51 accelerates, and Nickerson gets into the back of him and turns these 3 guys around. John Osborne, I don't know how he didn't get a ton of damage. There's Victor Weaver sliding underneath. Seems to be unscathed. Currently, Victor Weaver is now up to the 10th position. We'll see if he can hold on to that. So Platt holds back a little bit. A couple of drivers get tangled up. Yancey will now be down in the 14th position, back in row number 7. So we'll see if he can fight his way back to the front. I noticed somebody's blinking out here. Hoping that is not David Lakey. Currently, Victor Weaver a little slow on the restart here, outside line. Giving up a ton of positions. We'll see if he can slide on around. Drivers coming down into pit road. Eddie Haggie, John Osborne, Jason Greenwell. This will be the first time visiting pit road for Eddie Haggie. Back out there, looked like John Osborne seesawing off the racing surface. Back and forth. Interesting call here by John Osborne. You see his pit stop time. He spent not a whole ton of time in there, so in and out for him. Right now, great job here by Paul Wilson. Working very, very hard out there for the GFR team. Ricky Hart has unfortunately turned it in here for the night. Ricky Hart did get blown to bits there, I gotta admit. It's pretty, finally getting some racing laps in here. Jonathan Platt getting away. Brett Guzik is back to 3rd. Paul Wilson 4th. Sean Britt 5th. Don't want to forget our Sour Patch Kid of Connor Gibson sitting in that number 2 position. Lap number 70 is underway. Zemecki sits in 7th. He's gained 10 on the night. Victor Weaver falls just outside of the top 10. He's sitting in 11th. John Osborne gaining 10th, but he's sitting down in the 13th spot. This should be our caution. Seeing the lap number 70 The top 10 had crossed the line. Caution comes out. So this will be our competition caution, stopping on lap number 70. Guys are going to get out of their cars, lick their wounds, and we're going to try and figure out what in the world to combat this kind of racing out here tonight. I'm not saying it's terrible, but boy, we got a ton. Wow. All right, drivers determine whether they're going to take tires or not. Honestly, I would be surprised to see if the 43 took tires. This track's so small, we're having to double stack cars in, so that's why you'll see Victor Weaver here laying over top of another car. That'll be actually per their qualification time. See Matt Crockett, looks like he missed the box there. We are a little bit slower. Whew. All right. Do want to appreciate Perfect Shine Auto Spa out here for sponsoring the league for another year. Looks like John Osborne may have been disqualified. I don't know if something happened out there. Terry Condis as well. He has now been disqualified. They'll be seeing if they can hack it through, see if something's going on, see if guys were bumping and banging down into pit road. That may be some of the issue. As they can possibly undo it here. All right, what do you say we find one of our guys here, which I've got to admit, this is a mess on some of it. Some of it is definitely a mess. Hopefully we'll be able to grab a couple of our guys here and possibly have kind of hash it out here. And we'll talk a little bit to, we'll talk to Mr. Nickerson as well. I do want to get a little insight from the number 2 machine, and maybe we can have a little something here from Nick Nickerson. Nick, you got a copy on me here, buddy?
How's it going, man?
All right, well, it's going. It is going. Talk to me a little bit about, you know, what happened out there, because from our angle, I'm not going to point fingers. I don't do that. There was a stack up, and looks like turn number 3, where it looked like Curtis Yancey maybe didn't get on the gas, and it looked like he was. Talk to me about what you saw.
I mean, honestly, I don't know, because I was actually a little bit more focused on Brett. I thought Brett actually ran into me, then I ran into Curtis, but that's not how Dalton explained it. So yeah, it must have been a checkup that I didn't notice, and I ran into him, and yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see a replay myself. Yeah, I thought I got ran into, but I mean, dude, we were so close there. Like when we started touching, like you had no idea where the contact was coming from, to be honest.
Yeah, some of them I saw even on a restart that Brett Guzik actually started picking up the back end of your car heading into turn number 1. Yeah. It came back down. You were able to handle it and get it going. But from our angle, what it looked like, Nick, is Jonathan Platt didn't get on the gas, maybe what Curtis had expected. Curtis went to accelerate and then let off, because the two of you accelerated at the exact same time, but he let back off. For John, you got the nose underneath. When you started checking up, that's when Brett and everybody was getting pushed, and then all three of you are spinning around facing the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's just a very inopportune time to be letting off the gas, even by accident, right? It's just, it is what it is. I mean, we've had a lot of accidents here. It's about time it was our turn.
Boy, and you don't know I don't know how to stop the bleeding. You know what I mean? It's there's not a lot of room. It's a very small track. We've got a lot of drivers out here tonight. Guys haven't been behind the wheel for a while. And we've got a lot of technical difficulties coming out here. You know, is this something do you think we're going to see beyond this race?
I hope not. I hope we just kind of, you know, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. It is a small track. You know, maybe the next tracks we go to will be a little bit larger. Slinger's going to suck when it's a quarter mile, but I don't know. It's, you know, this is a game of like tire attrition, right? Like, yeah, there's some things you can do to get past people, but like for the most part, people just need to understand that like you're not going to be making a hell of a lot of passing. This isn't NASCAR, right? So just you kind of have to just follow the leader at least for a little bit and then see where you end up. But I guess everybody just wants to kind of make a move as soon as they can, as soon as they see the opening, right? But it is what it is. I mean, the top 4 of us, man, we were just chilling, trying to save our tires for this pit stop. That way we can go out without having to change the tires. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, it's 5 minutes. We'll get everybody to cool down. Everyone can go to the bathroom, get a drink, stretch your legs, and we'll see what happens this last 100.
All right. Well, I was going to say everything got scrapped right here at the beginning. I don't think it's. I don't think that's going to happen. Hopefully, this does clean up a little bit by next time, man. I know you guys are capable of it. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think a lot of guys are learning about the car, unfortunately, tonight. So hopefully a lot of these guys will be ready for practice next Tuesday. We'll say that. Nick, I appreciate you. Go ahead and give me a shout-out for Perfect Shine Auto Spa as well, since it's on the car.
Yeah, man. Just, Kevin's little company there, and he's doing a lot of the sponsoring this event, so I figured I'd run a paint with him. Good old Perfect Shine Auto Spa.
Attaboy. All right. Good luck to you and the GFR team out there, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. Later.
All right, Nickerson getting ready to go here. Car's about ready to get back underway and under speed. Let's see if we can grab a hold of Jonathan Platt out there, which I currently see him out there on the track. Is this a good thing?
Yeah, we're just resetting the lineup here.
Okay. Your race tonight has been all about nailing that restart. You think the second half will end up like that?
Yeah, probably, most likely, with how things have kind of played out.
Okay. Stack up happened behind you there about 10 laps ago, where we ended up with Nickerson, Yancey, and Brett Guzik, the 3 guys who have been chasing you all night. It looked like a little miscommunication. I would assume that was, I'm not saying you did it, it was not on purpose, because it looked like Yancey was ready to get on the gas, and it seemed you may have been a little late to the throttle on the exit.
Yeah, so we were basically just all riding. I mean, I'd seen on the restart, that same restart that Brett had Nick lifted up and had him sideways to start finish line, and I guess he wanted to be aggressive and try and get up there with us, but we were all just riding. Like, there's no reason to race right now. Just trying to just survive.
Yeah, and I would say not till the second half. Guys need to start doing something. Now, wouldn't it be a good idea out there racing to try to figure out where maybe a hole in somebody's game is out there? Start trying to see if you can floss, get around somebody, get a couple quick passes in there, and then just kind of tick off the laps, man. Every 15 seconds, you guys are knocking another one out.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You want to set up your competition no matter what, trying to see what their weaknesses are. But like with me, I don't want to show anybody anything, right? I just want to be easy on entry, don't use no brake, lift early, roll back the throttle, roll to the easy, and I mean, unfortunately, I think that kind of caused a stack-up situation there. You got who I've been working with, Curtis, wrecked, and that's unfortunately, I guess, my fault.
Nah, it'll be all right. Curtis Yancey currently sitting in 8th, as we'll see as you guys still continue to get him lined up here. Jonathan, go ahead and give me your shout-outs here, buddy. I see you got a motorsports team on the side of your car.
Yeah, it's just buddies of mine that race iRacing stuff. It's pulled out motorsports. On the hood, it's my business, communications, modern NASCAR stuff, short track stuff. Besides that, just me, man.
All right, Jonathan, glad to see you back here in the league, man. Hopefully we're able to clean this up for you enough where maybe you earned this win. No, I'm just kidding. All right, John, take it easy, buddy. All right, everybody, go ahead and send Jonathan Platt back down there. Get him ready for this run. He's got his hands full here tonight. Boy, oh boy. So, cars lining back up here to get back underway. We'll have hopefully a couple of guys get a couple of their laps back. Victor Weaver, I'm currently showing the last driver here on the lead lap. Eddie Haggy will be sitting 12th, currently showing a lap down, but we'll hopefully we'll be able to squash some of that when we come to the restart. We'll get this back underway. Thank you guys for joining us here at SimTrax Broadcasting. We return back to you guys, bringing it to you live. A little bit of fumbles and stumbles here, but seeing everybody is no worse for the wear. Hoping this will be kind of a wake-up call for our drivers out here. They need to clean up their act. We got to get this back under green and moving quickly. That will definitely be exactly what these guys would love to do out here. All right, a couple of drivers had been disqualified. Logan Murray was disqualified. John Osborne was disqualified. I believe John will be finishing in the 18th position on his return. Cole Crazel hanging out here, getting ready to go. Pace car lights, I do believe, are still on. As we take a few more of these off, they are getting the lineup correct. Right now, Dalton Kilroe, race number 1. This is taking a toll on this guy. Pace car lights still remain on. We are single file, though. Brett Guzik still remains in 3rd. Looks like he was able to fix some of that damage. I would hope that is not fast repair worthy. He was able to come down into pits, spend that 5 minutes squaring that car away. And to me is one of the awesome things about that halfway point. Fortunately, it does look like the pace car lights are out. So we'll be ready. Ready to get this back under green here. Getting excited. I know a driver that was pretty upset out there, Ethan Sikorsky in the 94. He's a little uptight about how this race has been going. Should have been good to go. Should have been rocket launching through here. This runoff's a little bit of a killer here. Double filing again here. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just a little bit as confused as you guys are here. Trying to squeeze this back together here. Still keeping an eye out there on the chat. If you guys want to ask a couple of questions, I'll do my best, or I will find somebody who can give us the right answer here. That looks like a good sign. Boy. Right now trying to use up all of that track is Curtis Yancey. He's on the outside. Boy, Yancey hammering off the walls here. He's able to sling around that turn though. Awesome turn here by Yancey. That slings him up to 7th. And now expect this guy to be doing big things here. Boy, he is heavy on that gas early. Here, hitting off the rev limiter there. Oh, dog. How did he miss that? How did he miss that? Great job by Brett Guzik saving that car. Paul Wilson getting spun around here. Take another look at it. Yep, doesn't take much. Not take much. Caution back out again here tonight. Alright, interesting race here tonight, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging in there. It's been a pretty rough one here so far. Guys still hanging out there. Definitely try to see if we can poke and grab a hold of a couple of our drivers. We're not single file yet. Everything's still double file as we are back underway. Sean Britt way out of shape. I don't know if Sean's Britt's car just let go here. Sean Britt down into pit road. Sean Britt has been divvied to drive through. So that must be the penalty for the last caution here. Sean Britt will now be a lap down. This race is, quote, an act of survival out here. We'll see if Jonathan Platt can stay out front of Connor Gibson, who's currently holding in second. Curtis Yancey has been able to run his car back up to a top 3 position. Currently sitting in third there. That Bass Pro car is currently sitting in third. And now he's trying to hone in on the 51 here of Connor Gibson. Right now, I guarantee you, Curtis Yancey's got to be careful. Right now, I see Brett Guzik getting awfully close here. So, Brett Guzik's. Brett Guzik starting to hang in there. Fades back just a little bit. Let's go ahead and give himself about a 4/10 gap to Curtis Yancey. As I say that, he squeezes a little bit closer. Leave any distance. Curtis Yancey right now, he's getting ready to set up Connor Gibson here. Notice how he's getting a solid run coming off that last turn. Currently, Yancey's taking a peek here. Nickerson having a harder time getting up to the front. Nickerson still back in 8th. Sitting right behind Kevin Foster. And I was incorrect. I wanted to go ahead and make the correction now. Jonathan Platt is actually with the ESR team, not the GFR team. Ethan Sikorsky Racing Team is where he's going to be. Just hanging it out here. Still has over 50 laps to come up with an opportunity here to make some passes. Yancey has been hanging back. There's an opportunity there. Connor Gibson way up high. Yancey gives a good pivot here. Let's check back in on Eddie Haggy. Haggy's the HR consulting machine out there in the 97. He's down on the bottom. Trying to take a look here at Sean Britt. Britt is a lap down. Remember, he had to serve a drive-through for the last caution. 97 getting driven off the land here. It looks like Sean Britt is going to have to choke up and sit a little bit higher. Britt gets through. Great job here by Eddie Haggy. Look at the number 5 of Sean Britt dropping it off the table here to get around the 84. The 84, David Lakey. Sitting to the outside. Britt, full disconnect there. Excuse me, David Lakey disconnects. Around they go. Caution's out. Alrighty, Sean Britt. Getting ready to wind up here. Looks like we have a disqualification out there for 2 drivers. And now I see what Bill Harkins means is we need to possibly extend this a little bit. I would say you wouldn't have to. Get these guys to clean it up a little bit. But heartbreaker out there for anybody watching. 2 drivers have been eliminated. Sean Britt, the number 5 Weathermaster machine, has been disqualified, and Eddie Haggy in the 97 has been disqualified. These are all coming from a large amount of incident points. So I was told there is a possibility this is going to be trouble here tonight, with guys getting marched out here. Now, drivers like Jason Greenwell, Nicole Krazel, hey, as long as they can keep ticking laps off, these guys are picking up positions. So if Jason Greenwell can stay clean here for the next couple of laps, they'll move him up to the 14th position. Not bad. Still sounds like a good deal to me. So we will see. What I want to know is Eddie Haggy, yes, has been kind of booted out here. But let's take a look. Lakey blinks out. Yep, and then Lakey gets into the 5, and that gets him DQ'd. And I'm wondering what happens to the 97. Is it because he dropped off the track? Right there, contact with David Lakey. So Lakey, in a swoop of 1 turn, 2 people were eliminated. With the number 5 he made contact with, and then when he hit Sean Britt, he came down and nudged the edge there of Eddie Haggy. And that took him out of the race. Which which means David Lakey needs to be very careful, because if they are gaining incident points, so is he. So 4 incident points for contacting another driver. I believe 1 incident point for dropping off track. And most of the time, 2 incident points for contact with the wall. The key is to maintain and be clean. Very clean. All right. Airwolf Productions, if I'm reading that right. Weaver out there, 7th place. Currently, Victor Weaver did drop down to 9th. His hard charger here of the race. Good job here by the 18. He is way loose, though. Sorry, you just got to be careful not to overheat these tires. Still got 45 laps to get it done. Zemecki, last driver here on the lead lap. Anybody else that passes Victor Weaver, he's just going to go ahead and drive back on around him when we end up back under caution. Victor Weaver just needs to stay clean out there. I don't believe he's been involved in a whole lot here tonight. All right, here's Lakey to the outside. Inside goes Paul Wilson, as Nickerson's having some trouble. Nickerson praying for some good luck here. Curtis Yancey's still hanging back behind Connor Gibson, as they still look at each other for a 2nd place. Currently, as everybody's scrambling around. Caution still does remain out, or excuse me, it remains in the pocket. We are still under green, which is a very positive thing here. I love seeing these guys getting some laps knocked out here. Unfortunately, we are down to about half field. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 drivers down and out. Carter Phillips still sitting in the pits for his 5th time here tonight. Mobile cars, I'm down to 15, so we eliminate 10 drivers. And it seems cautions have slowed up a bit, so that may or may not be our lucky number. Late model racing, very technical. You got to have a good strategy coming in here. Can't just go out there and pass. Can't push people, can't draft. You really got to wait for the guy in front of you, make a mistake, and then attack without thinking twice. You got to be on it. Works good on reaction time as well. Don't want a banged up car at the end of the day. Keep this going. We should be looking about 35 laps left to go. Lakey doing a little bit of that seesaw maneuver there. Real close at the beginning and then having to back off middle of the turn. That's only jamming up Paul Wilson. Wilson's getting a little confused of what to do here. Jonathan Platt still remaining in the lead here. Right now, Connor Gibson. Wonder if he's going to start feeling some pressure here. Curtis Yancey wants another position, if he can get him. We did talk earlier. Platt was talking about trying to maintain tire life and just kind of trucking it on through. Everything seems a-okay. Guys are hanging back here just a hair. Everything's pretty seems solid here so far. Still under green. That is excellent. I see everybody kind of calming down a little bit here. Brett Guzik trying to get back up. Currently sitting in the top 5. Nickerson is attacked up to 4th. Boy, Nickerson is driving this thing like he stole it, though. We have hit the mark. 30 laps left to go here. Nickerson using a little bit of his tires here to start catching up. He's got a good run here on Curtis Yancey. Yancey taking a look at Connor Gibson, but he might have to start taking a peek in that mirror now. Right now, Yancey is getting a better turn exit than Nickerson is. Nickerson sending it in a little bit deeper into the turns. Lap traffic coming up. This will definitely play into their favor as we ride along here with Nickerson. And Yancey is around as soon as I hop out of the car. Caution is back out. David Lakey is around, if I'm not mistaken. Yancey went around. Nickerson did as well. As soon as we got out of Nickerson's car and started floating, contact was made. Did Yancey just loop it here? Boys, that looked like not the exact same way it happened last time. Yancey having to check up. Connor Gibson not accelerating. Yancey letting off middle of the turn. And once again, Nickerson getting into the back of him. That is exactly how it happened last time. Right here. See the 31 having a backup from hit Platt. Yancey lets off the gas. Nickerson rides into him. We ought to poke Nickerson and let him know that Brett Guzik was 0.3 of a second behind him this time. All right, Bandit Racing League, thanks you guys for tuning in here to the broadcast. Unfortunately, we have only had one of the 15 cautions here scheduled for tonight. We have had a boatload of them, especially coming back here to Hickory Motor Speedway. 0.33 miles is all this track is, so extremely short. Love to see these guys head to Bristol Motor Speedway. It may still be in the works. Excited to see if that can come to fruition. Love that. All right, next week we're going to head to Southern National Motorsports Park. That's going to be a good race, guys. To make sure you turn in for that. We'll be hitting races like North Wilkesboro Speedway. One of my favorites, South Boston Speedway, Irwindale, and I promise it won't be the figure 8. So there should be a good couple of good races there. We'll also be heading down to a racetrack like Richmond, Lucas Oil. We'll be heading to Slinger. That's going to be tough. I think these guys are going to be hardly out of the gas. Hopefully we're going to see tons of drivers ready to go for those races. So caution has come out for the 15th time here tonight. We are under the 30 lap mark before the end. Platt has led just about every single lap here. Green flag is back out. He's going to get an excellent restart there. Connor Gibson looks like he was not ready, but A-OK. If he's not ready, Guzik will be. Guzik will push him to the ready position. Checking out there, currently next disqualification. Sorry to say it, Kelly Queel. Mr. Kevin Foster has been disqualified. The drivers behind him continue going. Kevin Foster will be finishing in the 15th position. Rough night. Rough night for a lot of big-name drivers. A lot of hammering and banging around Curtis Yancey heading down into pit road. Looks like having to serve a drive-through. So they are pointing fingers at the 51 for the cause of this caution. He's going to be at the back of the pack here, sitting in 9th. Curtis Yancey, not bad, although he is one of the fast drivers out there. Curtis Yancey was actually able to be fast enough, even getting through pits. Curtis Yancey did not go down a lap. Currently sitting 9.3 seconds off pace. So if we end up back under caution, this will squeeze him back to the front. And it looks like McFarland Racing 15 had PC troubles tonight. And will be there next week. All right, don't forget to announce who you are out there in the chat. Taking a look, continuing on. Victor Weaver sitting in 6th right now. Surgery Steve waiting for it. And Kelly Queel saying that's racing. Well, a little bumping and running. 2 cars making contact, divvies out 4X to the driver who was hit and the driver who was doing the hitting. Oddly enough, if you haven't rear-ended anybody, and you've been the one getting hit, you were punished as well. iRacing says they cannot determine who made the mistake. So they both of them get it. I have been disqualified multiple times from being hit in the back and being put into the wall. All right, Cordell McFarland in the number 28. The 28. Ricky Hart Jr. was in the 20. Kevin Foster might be protesting out there as how the heck he ended up disqualified. He ends up with some trouble. Nickerson is up to 6th. So he is trying to slowly claw his way back to the front. Right number next time you are out. Hopefully if we see you, Southern National Motorsports Park is where we will see you. I'll be pretty excited to see you out there on the track. 9 laps left to go here, ladies and gentlemen. Currently, Curtis Yancey is now disqualified. Down and out he goes. Currently, if they continue on right now at this pace, Hunter Musselwhite will now shift up to 11th. And Musselwhite is down, I think, almost a handful of laps here. And caution is back out. And Kelly Queel saying, got to follow the rules. No problem. Things happen. Paul Wilson. No way. Paul Wilson sitting in the 3rd spot. Caution comes out, is disqualified. I thought we were getting ready to talk to him in a podium position. Less than 8 laps from the end. Gets disqualified here. Paul Wilson does not have many opportunities here in the front. Yeah, not 100% sure how and who. Yeah, I see McFarland Racing out there saying Musselwhite just needs to get back in the groove. Yeah, I was working with him just a little bit, trying to help him with a little bit of brake bias when it comes to these late models. It's a lot easier. But it looks like Brett Guzik comes up into him. And there's the contact, so that gets you 4X, and away he goes. So you see what I'm saying? Paul Wilson, no fault of his own here, but teetering on the edge of disqualification, and gets eliminated. Brett Guzik sitting down in the pits currently. I think right now I'd be petrified to leave pit road. But yeah, I was working on brake bias out there with Hunter Musselwhite, thinking it'd be a little bit of a good idea. You apply that front brake bias a little more to the front. You want to pivot and make the move. Try to fight through traffic. Move it to the rear brake bias when you start getting single file, and we got to start really driving into the turns. Try to get some of the heat off those front tires. Oddly enough, if I am not mistaken, I have 6 drivers remaining on the lead lap. Green flag is back out. Jonathan Platt still in the lead here. 5 laps left to go. So we'll shuffle through. Should be sending Brett Guzik to the back. So currently he's still up a couple of laps. I think he ran off a couple here. Let's go ahead and pop that up. You'll see Brett Guzik down and out here for the race. He will end up going a lap down here by the end of it. 4 to go. Right now, if Connor Gibson's thinking about making the pass, he better do it now. Still chopping on through. Paul Wilson will be passed by a couple more. Jason Greenwell now moves to 10th. And I don't think the guys have enough laps. They may have enough laps to move up one more position, which is going to push Brett Guzik possibly to the 10th spot, if not the 11th. 2 laps left to go here at Hickory Motor Speedway. White flag this time by. Excellent job here, Jonathan Platt, Connor Gibson, Nick Nickerson. Nickerson able to fight his way back into a podium position. Checkered flag is out. Gross. Victor Weaver with a top 5. Justin Zemecki, first time I've seen him out here in the 03. He finishes in 4th. David Lakey on the lead lap finishes in 6th. Welcome back, Jonathan Platt. Awesome job here, buddy. Awesome job. I give it to Nickerson to be able to fight back. He was in a bit of a mix-up out there. How in the world these guys didn't get absolutely obliterated out there. Connor Gibson not having enough right there at the end. But seeing these two are teammates out there, there may be something a little to be said there. So let's go ahead and take a look at where our unofficial race results. I assure you there will be crunching down to see what in the world happened out here tonight and what they could fix. Remember I said top 6 drivers still on the lead lap. A little bit of a mess here right at the end. So fortunately these guys were able to definitely calm it down a little bit here. Here, apparently, Jonathan Platt trying to see if he can launch the motor. Not quite sure why, but he's gonna do it. So we'll see how it goes here. All right, guys, hang in there. I'm gonna cut away here for just a little bit, try to run our drivers down, and we'll be right on back. as we get a couple things hammered out here, we'll go ahead and grab a hold of our third place driver. Won't hold him too long. Nick Nickerson, third place, able to fight your way back to the front. Boy, what a race.
Yeah, that was a lot going on there. The first half, I didn't think it was so bad. Not for me, anyways. We were just kind of cruising, trying to save tires for the middle break there, but had to drive the field a couple times there on the second half. First, just want to apologize to Curtis, man. Like, I don't know why I can't see that he was checking up. I guess that's 2 times now that he had to check up for a car in front of him, and apparently I just can't see that checkup in time, especially like right there on that corner exit where I'm trying to gas up to get the back end to turn. But kind of feel bad I took him out, and he got a penalty, the final penalty, drive-through penalty for that one. So that sucks. But all in all, I mean, you know, I can't say it was a great race, but I think it's something that we can all learn from and hopefully go into next week. We'll make some changes in the league, I think, and we'll talk about it here, and hopefully next week at where are we at next week?
Southern National.
Southern National, that might be pretty decent. It's a high banked track, so maybe there's a little bit more racing lines for people to use. It's still a small track, but we'll see. I think it would definitely be better than this race for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to see Bristol didn't make the cut.
We were talking about it, but you can't put too many tracks on there. So we got one NASCAR track.
Oh my God. We picked Richmond. Yeah. Holy cow. All right, Nick. Well, pretty rough race here, buddy, but hopefully you guys are able to square it away. And excited to see what you can do there at Southern National Park. Go ahead and give me a shout out so I got you here.
Yeah, man, just Bill for all he does for the league, man, and Kevin. He's taking ownership of Bandits, and I think it's going to be a good season. Obviously, this is short track racing with late models. It's a totally different ball game. We're all still trying to figure this thing out, so it'll get better before too long. But I appreciate you guys doing the broadcast. Or is it just you, Patrick?
Yes, sir. That's what you got. You get only me for the season.
That's all right.
Cool.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, Nick. Hey, appreciate you, man. I hate seeing. I gotta admit, buddy, I hate seeing you part time, but hopefully we'll have you here more often than not.
We'll see. So I'll explain that. It's because on the 15th, my twins were born, but my wife, like, we come to an agreement that I can race on Monday and Wednesdays for the 2 leagues. But you know, if it doesn't work out or whatever, there might be a chance I'm not going to make the race. But for right now, I'm just saying that I was part time just in case. But as of right now, everything's working out. We'll see.
Dude. All right, Nick.
Yeah.
Boy. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
On you, brother. On you. Nick, congratulations on the third place finish, man. We'll let you go make men's out there with Curtis.
I appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
All
right. That is going to be it. We're going to go ahead and grab a hold. Nick Nickerson, away he goes, trying to fix a few of these things of what the heck's going on out there. But we move on to Connor Gibson out there. Now, Connor, he's had his hands full here. And really interesting enough to see that the 31 machine not making a move on a teammate. Are we kicking ourselves, or are we just happy to finish this race?
I'm happy to bring her home second. I just bought the track yesterday, to be honest. Didn't really know what I was doing. Just running laps and stayed out of trouble. Somehow qualified 5th, and then from there I just stayed out of trouble. I was happy to finish second. I mean, I don't think, even if I tried, I don't think I could have got by him, but he was just really quick tonight. I think he led probably every lap.
Yeah, just about. I think a couple technicalities with flipping and the caution laps not counting showed us with some changes out there. Tons of drivers eliminated here tonight, disqualified. I'm sure that radio was lighting up here tonight.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of tempers. It's short track racing, though, I guess.
Right, but that is exactly what we're going to be doing all season. Southern National is next week, 150 laps there. I mean, how do you come out of a race like this upset and not flying sidekick the guy next week?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm sure we're going to have potentially some tempers flaring next week for people trying to get their get-backs on people from tonight. Hopefully that's not the case, but you never know.
But dude, you know better. Yeah, it's just tons of things happening out there, man. Just back and forth. I hope I hope we're able to square this away a little bit. I feel a lot of changes on the horizon, and hopefully you were hopefully things work out pretty well. Connor, I don't get to talk to you a whole lot, and I've got to know. Is the we're not digging the Sour Patch thing, are we?
If I can find a paint scheme, Sour Patch paint scheme, then I will put it on.
Excellent. I will find a painter. All right, Connor, go and give me a shout out, brother.
Thanks to my teammates. Thanks to Kevin for taking over the responsibilities here, and Bill for helping out, and you for broadcasting, and everybody that tunes in to watch this. I know this was a long one, probably a rough one to watch, but I mean, once we got like 10 laps into a run, the racing was pretty good, I'd say. So I hope the viewers enjoyed it.
It's getting everyone to calm down. Exactly. Let the race come to you, and we try to hash it out from there. So, all right, Connor, congratulations on a second place finish. I would say hard earned, buddy. You've been to almost top 5 here all night, and then fortunately we're able to come away, especially with guys beating and banging and spinning each other out there in front of you. You were able to survive. Congratulations, and we'll see you at Southern National.
Thank you. We'll see you there.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody, that is going to be Connor Gibson moving us on to the race winner here. Well, led just about every lap here in the front. Jonathan Platt, the 43 machine. Well, doesn't seem anything's going to stop you now.
Oh, no. They'll stop me. Don't worry.
Well, the trophy may be gold, but a lot of gold color we were seeing was that yellow flag here all night. Some hang their head in shame. Others are hoping for a better week next week. Southern National Motorsports Park. I would say probably a hair bigger. We're probably going to have maybe the same turnout of guys trying again to see if they can keep this clean. If you had started, let's say, 10th place, do you think I'd be talking to you here tonight?
Probably not, just because you're probably going to get run over by people that are just too antsy. I mean, I literally ran 80% pretty much all night long. I mean, there's really no... I mean, I understand that you want to go towards the front, but I mean, let's settle in. Let's get some guys, burn the tires up. You can drive by them. You can pass here. It's not hard. And, I mean, we got to settle in. We just got to get laps in. And then, once tires get hot and greasy, I mean, you make your moves then.
Right. And I would say, with these cars being so kind of shovel-nosed, real square in the back, you've got to do a lot of pivoting if you want to do that. You got to pick them out. You got to wait your turn and see if you can slide by. I think Nick Nickerson was trying to do a lot of that, but a lot of what he was happening in his case is there was a checkup in the turn, and he couldn't see it. I can't say that was everybody's issue out there, but I would say, John, you didn't have to fight through any traffic. We led just about every lap. I would say what is the hardest part about tonight's race, but I'm assuming restarts, Southern National. Let's start there and start looking ahead to what this next race is going to mean. I mean, is this going to be another cakewalk for you as long as you get a solid qualifying position?
Qualifying is going to mean absolutely everything there. I mean, if you can get the lead, I mean, you can basically probably lead the whole race. I mean, the place is bottom grooved. It's really tight corners. It's probably going to be more cautions than tonight, to be very honest, because, I mean, we're probably just going to run each other over at the 30, 40, 50% mark of the corner, and I mean, just going to cause wrecks. So I think qualifying is going to be absolutely everything next week.
Other than guys being patient, what is one thing you would change tonight to try to get rid of yellow fever?
I'm not too sure. I mean, you got to go watch it back to figure out what was exactly going on. I mean, these guys that run the league, they do a phenomenal job. I know they'll make changes to make it better. So it's in their hands. I mean, I'll talk to them. I mean, we've all got a lot of short track experience in this league, so we'll go over it and say, hey, this is what we need to probably do different next time. So, I mean, I don't know anything right offhand right now without watching the broadcast back.
Yeah, I would say I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of shuffling and a lot of fixing out there, and guys are really going to be working hard to try to clean this up a little bit. I think you had a battle on your hands with about 3 guys behind you, but I think they just about eliminated each other in the process of. Jonathan, go and give me your shout-outs here, buddy.
Yeah, first off, thank Bill, thank Kevin for getting Bandit back up and running. It's been a kind of a home for quite a while, probably 8 so years that I've been on iRacing. So thanks to them too. First off, thanks to all the admins that run this deal. Thank you for broadcasting. So Simtrax, thanks to the teammates that I worked with tonight at ESR and Pull Down Motorsports, and of course Clearlook Communications. Wouldn't be able to do it without any of them.
Beautiful. All right, Jonathan Black, congratulations on your first win here of the season. I got a feeling you got a few more for us, so we'll let you go and get practicing for the next one.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. All right, Jonathan Platt, always a man of respect and does quite a job, boy, and I got to admit, this dude is something else. So awesome job here by Jonathan Platt, Connor Gibson, and Nick Nickerson. That is going to do it for us here at Simtrax Broadcasting with the Bandit Racing League. First race here of Season 15 as we return here for the super late model cars. Can't wait. These guys absolutely had a blast here tonight. Some it was even better. Some a little bit worse, but it has been some tough driving here tonight. I would say temper's high, but we've also got to figure out how to turn it around and direct it a different way of how we're not going to repeat such a tough race. Guys, appreciate you joining us here at the Bandit Racing League. Simtrax Broadcasting signing on off. I will see you guys at the Southern National Motorsports Park next week. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.